Good afternoon. My name is Mark Poehl. I'm Internal Audit Director for the Coordinating Board, and Susan actually had it easy because she was the next to the last speaker. So I'm actually standing in your way for the evening's activities, and I can assure you that that the presentation will be mercifully quick and be happy to respond to any questions that you may have. I would like to talk to you, just give you a brief overview of our audit and compliance activities here at the Coordinating Board. I say audit and compliance, we are actually developing a new compliance function. As many of you may be familiar with, this agency recently went through the Sunset Commission review process, and one of the outcomes of that process was a recommendation that work that was formerly performed by internal audit at your institutions actually be handled by a compliance activity. And so we've hired two compliance specialists with a background in these activities, and so we're still doing some reviews under the internal audit banner, but we're actually right in the middle of transitioning over to having our compliance team perform this work. There will still be some projects that we will do as internal audit, but I think the primary contact that you will start to see going forward will be related to or will be coming from our compliance specialists. We here at the Coordinating Board, whether we're talking about compliance or internal audit, we're looking at grant agreements or student financial aid, and then on the formula funding side, semester contact hour accuracy. And so those are really the two kind of main areas of emphasis. And like any other resource-constrained activities, we use a risk-based approach to determine which institutions to visit and conduct our work. And so what I tried to list for you on your slide is some of the risk factors that we take a look at in considering each year which institutions to schedule our work at. So we look at things like significant fluctuations, whether we're talking about formula funding, contact hour fluctuations, or things within the financial statements of the institution itself that might give, at least if not a concern, raise a question in our mind as to potentially a heightened risk environment. We also attempt to keep track of any changes in key personnel, changeovers in student information systems, things like that could also impact the level of risk that's present at the institution level. The process is really that we follow, whether we're talking about compliance or monitoring, is fairly straightforward. We do some upfront planning work and working with our risk assessment to decide where to go, and then actually once we make that decision, we work with the institution. Oftentimes we will work informally with somebody below the president level, but we certainly also do a formal notification to the institution's president to let them know that we're planning on coming and what the date of our work will be. And when we arrive, we do an entrance conference, and we typically try to invite the president and any of the other senior administration that would like to attend and be briefed. Throughout the audit or the compliance review, we communicate with institution staff, let them know what our questions or concerns may be, such that by the end of the process, when we come back to write up our work, hopefully by that point there's no question over issues of fact, and we are simply summarizing our work, putting it into a report. The report goes to the institution. Institution's given a chance to respond, and then there's a final report. And that report would get issued directly to your institution's chief executive officer, and as well as all of the senior staff and the and the board that I report to here at the coordinating board. And I've included my contact information